hello. I am John. This is my show, Sports Reckoning. Let's see, where are we at here? Okay. So, Super Bowl was yesterday, and game was sucking. Halftime show easily was one of the worst halftime shows ever. There's a couple other ones I probably really didn't like and stuff, but there's no doubt about it. That halftime show is definitely bottom 5 worst halftime shows. Just horrible. What a garbage. It's really a disappointment too because it's in Las Vegas and shit, right? And it's like, dude, you're in Vegas. You should have had the best fucking halftime show. It should have been the best one ever. And dude, Usher fucking sucked. What's that? The girl that was on the piano, I know her name and shit. Alicia Keys? Is that Alicia Keys? She was the only good part, and she was hardly even ever there. Well, the only other thing was cool was when they were on the roller skates. That part was pretty cool. But the singing and Usher was too soft. His voice was too feminine, kind of just too soft and shit, right? Just really weak and shit. Horrible halftime show, right? So the game and stuff. The game's the game. It is what it is and shit. But I was talking about this all-time Super Bowl list. This is one of the things that I was really worried that the 49ers would win, and then they would complete the 666 at the top of the Super Bowl list, right? And I just didn't want to see that because I'm like, okay, well, shit, that means World War's coming. It's going to break. That shit's going to get bad. If they're going to do this right now, I was like, that's a bad sign. I was thinking that's a bad sign and shit, right? So I think you can see that. I'll raise it up a little bit more. Hopefully you can see the list and stuff. So at the top of the Super Bowl list, you have the Patriots and the Steelers with 6 wins. Then underneath that's the Cowboys and the Niners, each with 5 wins. So if the Niners would have won, you would have had that 666. I was going to say, I thought that was a bad thing. And so this is still in play. There's still a thing there. But what happened was I saw something else at the end of the game that's now got me thinking of the bigger picture because there's this other thing that's called the Agenda 2030. Right. And so the people right now, like the Illuminati, the world globe, these globalist people and stuff, they're taking over. And this shit's happening. There's no doubt that it's happening. They are doing it. And there's no doubt that they're doing it. They're definitely doing it. They're taking over. And they keep saying by the year 2030, they'll have made the transition into this new world order of what they're fucking taking over, that they're doing this. And by the year 2030, it'll be done. And we'll live in that new world and shit, right? They'll have total control over everything. They're going to have control over everything and shit, right? And it's not stopping. Like all the people this and that, dude, it is not fucking stopping. I don't see any part of it where the people that are actually doing the stuff, I don't see anything that's stopping them. It's going forward. It is moving forward. So I've known that the 666 thing, I've been thinking, well, it's still kind of early about, that's why I was like, I didn't really want it to happen now because it's like, well, we're waiting until that 2030 when that's to me, that's like the symbolization of the end of the world. And it's the end of no new person who gets born after that time will ever have a chance again to leave because we're in hell. A lot of people don't understand. I just mentioned to one of the people that was commenting on people, they get mad. See, I was young and dumb, and I believed in Jesus and shit too. Just like a really quick thing, right? Okay, these stupid people, they teach you about Jesus. They talk about Jesus. Oh, you got to find Jesus. It's the only way. He's your Lord and Savior. Shut the fuck up, right? Just right off of the bat. Can a 5-year-old understand? Can a 5-year-old understand that Jesus is your Lord and Savior, and if you follow Jesus, that's the only way to heaven? A 5-year-old can understand that. I sure as hell ain't gonna fucking ever believe in something that a 5-year-old can fucking understand. If a 5-year-old can understand it, that totally invalidates your fucking idea of understanding. You think God's mind is as pathetic and fucking infantile as a 5-year-old? That a 5-year-old can understand the intellectual fucking knowledge of what God is? You're the dumbest motherfuckers, right? So, but they can understand what Jesus is. They can understand what Jesus is because they're not capable of understanding what God is. Satan has given you an alternative, lesser form of what God is. He's given you this alternative form of what God is, something that these pathetic morons can understand, and they call it Jesus and shit, right? Who had the mental capacity and capabilities to write the fucking Bible. Satan wrote the fucking Bible. Satan grew up in the presence of God, understood all of the teachings and the wisdoms of God. Satan used those teachings to mislead us and misguide us into following this book, thinking it was real. But that's what they call like misinformation, is that they give you all this quality information and all this stuff. A perfect example in our more modern world, something you people can understand. Think about when Trump got elected. What was Trump electing? What was he being elected for? Pro-America, right? Make America great. Flag hugging people. We support the military. We support the police, right? That was the whole agenda of what he was pushing. Why was that agenda of what he's pushing? Because in just a few years, he's getting ready to lock every single one of you motherfuckers in your house. And that's the whole thing. The whole thing was Trump was going to be the player of the COVID shit, and he was going to lock everybody down. In order for the population to obey, like the good little slave fucking monkeys we are, obey our masters. Oh, you had to get somebody pushing that kind of pro-American agenda, and you had to get all the people voting for him. Those would have been the people that would have rebelled and shit against the, like if it was like the Biden administration and they're saying lock us down, those were the people that they would have rebelled, and maybe that could have stopped the whole thing. So in order to make that work, you had to have a president set in place. This is what we call misinformation agents. He lies to you and he gives you all this good information, pro-America, all this stuff you believe in, he feeds that to you. So that he comes in later with the trap. Lock your ass down. Shut the fuck up. It's our world. We do what we want. Shut up. Go in your house and don't complain. And what do we all do? Well, we're good little monkeys now. You know, here we are sitting in the house. Okay, good little monkeys. And hey, masters and shit, all that fucking shit. That's what goes on. So that's what Satan did. Satan fed us all this fucking shit in the Bible, and we say, oh, that's really good. Yes, it is really good. That is God's wisdom. Yes, it is God's wisdom. It is God's teaching. And then he comes in with the trick. Jesus. Now you're worshiping false prophets and false idols. That's not God. That's fucking a creation of Satan. If you were a fucking Christian, you following all this shit, the Muhammad and the fucking David, I don't give a fuck who you motherfuckers are following. It is not God. You are being fucking misled, deceived by the great deceiver, fucking Satan. These motherfuckers try and talk down to me like, oh, I hope you find Jesus. Dude, go fuck yourself with your 5-year-old brain, you fucking loser. Don't talk down to me, you stupid idiots, when you've got the intellectual fucking capacity of a goddamn 5-year-old. Fuck you fucking morons. Fucking idiots and shit. Now I can go further and really explain to you how I know all this shit, but that takes time and shit, right? I've got a good enough little basis of what I fucking wanted to explain there. So now, what I'm saying is after the year 2030, and you have total control coming and total manipulation and full-on propaganda, the full-on assault of what they're going to do at the year 2030, you will not be allowed to disobey. You won't be allowed to have alternative thoughts and shit. They have total control. Like you look in like North Korea. Well, what's North Korea? Well, that's like their testing ground. They all this time where we're sitting over here and we're just thinking everything's fine. They've been over in North Korea testing out these practices. They've been learning how to control the people, how to manipulate them over years and years and years. That's the testing ground for this future world, this dystopian fucking world of which we're going into. That's what the fuck, this is how they've been doing this shit all the time. And they try to say, oh, North Korea, they're the bad guys. No, that's your fucking environment where you don't want nobody over there. You don't want people actually understanding what's going on there, because once we see what's going on there, then we realize they can do this to us. Fuck. Then all of a sudden, boom, it's just going to happen. Bam. It's like, how did it happen? They were slowly working, getting it controlled. Boom, 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 boom. And they're telling us, they straight out tell you, by the year 2030, their plans will be in full effect, and that will be it. After the year 2030, no soul that is born here ever again is ever going to leave. This will be eternal hell, and it's going to be like that for a long fucking time. It's going to be a long time. They're talking about, you know how Hitler was talking about a 1,000-year Reich? You dumb motherfuckers, you don't see the symbols and what they're saying. They're telling you they're going to have a 10,000-year dynasty. You people don't even understand that they're telling you this stuff right in your face. I see this shit. I hear what they're saying. They're telling you after the year 2030, they're going to have a 10,000-year fucking dynasty. That's what they're doing. And it's the whole globalist. It's not just like one country, like one little Hitler. It's all of them are doing it. They're all these global, they're doing it. It's happening. Okay, so that's leading up to the 2030 shit, right? So our time is running short and stuff. We're still in the world right now. And I enjoy football. I don't care if it's 100% rigged. Those motherfuckers go out there and play. That shit's real as fuck. They are out there risking their lives. And they do amazing things. Always happen. Every single game I always watch, I'm always like, oh, always. And at the end, it's so dramatic. You get field goals and shit. And it's like, there's all these little things that happen, which ends up being so fucking dramatic because that game was boring for a while. But at the end, they brought all that drama. They brought it, and it got really exciting and shit, right? It got real interesting, right? So now, the other reason I'm talking about this is because sports cards, there's a lot of different ways of how, if you want to invest and make money, all kinds of ways to do it and stuff, right? But one of the sports card things of what's going on is like, you better know if you want to be investing, if you want to invest in a card and hold it so that the card, like after the player retires, that you really got a fucking valuable card, a collectible, right? Or you're going to end up with like a Donovan McNabb rookie. Do you want to, it's like, this is the kind of thing about the people who sell cards. They don't give a fuck about your collection, what the end game future, nothing. They absolutely do not care about you, nothing. So anytime if they hype up this person, same with ESPN, anybody, you can never trust any of them. If you don't actually know what's going on yourself, then you're fucked. Don't do it. Don't buy it. You don't know what the fuck you're doing. Or else you'll end up with the whole fucking room of fucking Donovan McNabb fucking shit. And the reason I use him is like, because remember, he's with Andy Reid. If the cards had been booming and shit at that time and stuff, Donovan, I always look back and I think about stuff like that. It's like, well, what would Donovan McNabb be? What would his prices have been when he was making those runs and shit, right? He was fucking dominating. He was good. They were a good fucking team. And Andy Reid, but they only went to the one Super Bowl, and I believe he lost to Tom Brady. I think he did. And he never won. And now who's collecting Donovan McNabb? And this is the thing, you go to the people, you try and get them to understand. It's like, you dumb motherfuckers, dude, do you understand the accomplishments and how great like a player like Donovan McNabb was? What is this? And he achieved the shit. He's got numbers. He had a career. Like Donovan McNabb, I don't know if he's in the Hall of Fame. I don't think he is, but I would, off of the top of my head, I would think like Donovan McNabb. I would say, yeah, Donovan McNabb is a Hall of Famer. But you would take like somebody like Phillip Rivers. I would say, no, Phillip Rivers is not a fucking Hall of Famer. Like Matt Ryan, I'd be like, no, Matt Ryan's not a Hall of Famer. But those two guys, they probably both think they are, and maybe they could possibly get in. But I would know. I'd be like, no, Rivers is not a Hall of Famer. Matt Ryan's not a Hall of Famer. But Donovan McNabb is a Hall of Famer. That's what I'm even saying. When I'm saying Donovan McNabb, it's like, if I think back upon his career and stuff, I'd be like, I don't know his total numbers and stuff to back that stuff up either. But I'm just thinking about the career that I saw the guy play. I would think Donovan McNabb was a Hall of Famer. I mean, he's that kind of level of a guy and shit, right? But what is his cards? Who the fuck is collecting any goddamn Donovan McNabb? You're talking about these players with great careers, but the cards that are actually these players of who you want to invest in, it's far and few between. It's hard to collect those guys. And then we have the other problem of what you're doing, because like what hit me this year is because I fully believe that Nick Chubb, that this was his year, because I was buying Nick Chubb for the long term. And it looks like he's coming back. If you people didn't see, like, it was probably about the beginning of December, they were playing the Jets somewhere in December. So it's a while ago now. And when Nick Chubb came out, he walked out. He walked out of the tunnel, and they do some ceremony where they destroy a guitar. The guitar was designed with the New York Jets, and Nick Chubb goes up there, and it's cool because they have him put on glasses, but Nick Chubb's Batman. And so when Nick Chubb walked upstairs, if you people haven't seen that, go watch the video that says Nick Chubb smashes Jets guitar. Watch that, because it's like, goddamn, he's walking upstairs. I was like, damn, because remember, he had that devastating knee injury. But before the season was over, he's walking upstairs. And so he walks up there and he takes the guitar and he smashes it. But before he smashes the guitar, they had like a mask or something he was supposed to wear. He throws that mask away and he brings out his Batman mask and he puts on his Batman mask, right? So, but then there's also a thing that's going on with Nick Chubb is that he's got a contract that's not guaranteed for this next season, and he's supposed to make like $12 million, right? So, and I already heard the Barry, I think it was the GM of the Browns, saying he's going to need to rework his contract. He's got a not guaranteed contract, and they're not going to pay him that $12 million because it's not guaranteed. They are brutal when it comes down to it. It's business. They don't give a fuck. But we're going to see. We're going to see what takes place there, because I believe that the Browns want to keep Nick Chubb. I believe they understand and this is why I was going for Nick Chubb, because I wanted a guy who was going to be backed by the city, his city. That's one of the big, you want a player who the team wants to back him and that the city backs him, right? And that can put up he was putting up the numbers and can achieve greatness. And I was like, if you win in Cleveland, all I need is one win with a player like Nick Chubb, and his cards will be eternally valuable. I'll have a fan base. His cards will be valuable. So I was like, Nick Chubb was my guy that I was investing in. I could get quality Nick Chubb cards. And this is the other thing, like, as you learn with the card market and stuff, it's like, you really, really need to be focusing on cards under 25. But you got to be careful. I don't do patch cards. There's a lot of shit. First, you need to know what are the quality fucking cards. You need to know what are quality cards. You need to be getting cards that are printed under 25, because maybe when you start to get 100, the market can get saturated really fucking quick, man. If people are not buying these cards, man, you'll see there's so much influx of those cards that just waters down the market. You won't have shit. The only chance you've got is to have those really rare cards, because those cards, they just don't come up as much because they're so short printed and shit, right? So you really got to be hitting that under 25 and shit number, unless it's a really quality card, something that's really good. And it's got to be PSA 10 at that time too, if you go a little bit higher. Because like I have a Nick Chubb Blue Scope, a Prism Blue Scope PSA 10, the jersey numbered card, right? So I really like the card though too. I really like that card, and it is numbered to 99. But it's also the PSA 10 and jersey number. So I have the one that's special. So I think that card still can even hold up if I'm battling. See, if I have to battle against other PSA 10 blue scopes, well, I do have the jersey number one. So that'll make mine a little bit special. Will give me a better chance of holding value and shit, right? You've got to really fucking know all the little subtle details and shit of what you're doing and shit, right? So when Nick Chubb went down at the beginning of this, because I thought this was and you think, look at how the Browns did this year. If Nick Chubb just would have had a standard year, 1,500 rushing yards, like 15 touchdowns, getting into the playoffs, and maybe winning a couple games, something like that right there, that already would have built his folklore up and, his fan base in the city, trying to get him a championship, right? You just need one. You just need one when you're a player like that. You just need one and shit, right? So, like, my Nick Chubb, and then I thought the whole league, because when you look at the players, this was the other thing with Nick Chubb, I was like, he can win an MVP because of the player he is and how he's used on that team and the way that I know how people push stuff. I was like, Nick Chubb is the kind of guy that can be looked upon as the leader of the team and dominating. And I was always saying, man, if he can challenge to Eric Dickerson's single season rushing record, now he'll get the MVP. I can get the MVP. And you look, it's like this year the MVP was totally fucking wide open, right? If Nick Chubb would have came out, and see, this was the year too that Jim Brown had died. So they were doing the special, and he was like, even Nick Chubb was like, this year's dedicated to Jim Brown, right? So they would have pumped all that shit up with the Cleveland connection, all of that stuff. I really could have seen Nick Chubb could have been the MVP this year if he didn't get hurt. So I always feel like that when he got hurt, that cost me technically, because of my card collection, of what I've lost. Now, the actual value of my cards are holding up fairly well. I see cards that sell, and I know the prices of what I paid. And the good cards still are selling with Nick Chubb. There's still a market there for them. They're still selling. The good cards are selling. And the quality cards are selling at nice prices. Prices that are shocking me, actually. I'm like, damn, they're still selling at quality prices. So the value of my collection hasn't really been hit. But what my collection would have been worth if Chubb would have had the season of what he could have, if he didn't get hurt, my collection could have skyrocketed. Like if he would have got single season rushing record and an MVP, oh my God, like his cards could have became one of the guys where he was like in demand and shit, right? My collection would have skyrocketed and shit. That's what, but boom, it went down and shit, right? Now we're thinking we're trying to come back. And now it's like, but now we're in the situation back in the real world. Okay, he's got a contract that it's not guaranteed, and even the Browns are not going to pay him that money. So what I'm hoping is that the Browns really want him and they take care of him in a way somehow that they rework that contract, but they give him like a cash payout, because they got all those tricky fucking things they do. But they're gonna want to make it to where his payroll check is only gonna be like $5 million. They're going to want his shit cut in half. And if he doesn't accept this deal that they reworked for him, if he doesn't accept it, they will cut him. And it's like, that's going to be a hard cut because they know the fans want to see Nick Chubb come back. And Nick Chubb is acting like he's coming back to Cleveland. He wants to come back to Cleveland. The fans want to see him come back. And the team knows there's a lot of value in that. But when it comes down to the hard reality on the books and stuff, they've got to cut his thing. So there's going to have to be a reworking there that everybody feels comfortable, where Nick Chubb doesn't get screwed out of his money, and then the team doesn't get screwed by having to pay his $11-12 million contract and shit because he's got the injury. So they know he's not worth that now. And technically, he's not worth it because it wasn't just an ACL. It was a complete destruction of the knee, rebuilding, right? And but like I said, he's already walking. He's walking upstairs and shit. He's putting on his Batman mask and shit. So I think he'll be ready by next season. I think he'll be ready to go. But we'll see how it works. I hope he stays in Cleveland and shit. And I hope they'll go well. We'll see how it works and shit, right? There's still a lot of opportunity there for me with my card collection. As long as he plays and still achieves something, it's possible. But anyways, that's what you have to worry about is these teams will sell you out so quick. And when you're investing in these players, it's like, is that the kind of player that's like a franchise type of player, as they call him? Is that a real player that the city's behind, that the team is behind, that the league is behind, And then you got to get in all the endorsement deal stuff and all this stuff. It's like, look at like with Mahomes and Kelsey. Look at all the endorsements fucking shit. They're definitely being backed. This video is leading into that too in another way, what I'm going to do. There's something, what happened yesterday. It's like showing there's a big thing going on there. So, okay, so that's enough. Let's get into the to this thing. So what I thought that 666 thing, I was thinking that should more take place in the year 2030. So my prediction right now is that the 666, so the year of the 2029, so the Super Bowl will be actually take place in the year 2030, that year. Okay, in that year, I say that one of the teams that has 5 wins will win, and it will complete that 666 in the year 2030. So I'll bet against it. I think that it will not happen until 2030. I don't think that's going to happen until 2030. And then we'll have to see what team it is there, because there's actually a few players like right on the list, like the Dallas Cowboys with the star. That one stands out to me that because that could also be, Jerry Jones could be dead by then. You'll have a new coach. They'll have to have the Cowboys win one more time to like reassert their command over America's team and with their fan base. And if they win in that year 2030, after they've lost Jerry Jones, but then they come back and they win in 2030, then you get the Dallas Star completing that 666. That's one that looks good to me and shit, right? But other teams like Green Bay with that G, because the Freemasons, they use a G as a big part of their I know what it means too, but I can't think of what it is right now. But also like with the New York Giants, because they call them the G-men, right? So those are teams that I think are possibles, that those teams could get up there and shit, right? And but what I saw yesterday was the thing that has got me thinking more in the future is that this. Okay, so Travis Kelce, he says, we're going for 3 in a row. And what they said is no NFL team has won 3 in a row. There hasn't been any of them, right? And I hope you guys can see that and shit there. Let me, just in case, I think I'll laser it up a little bit better. You see it. So with Travis Kelce, see, he's got that hand signal. And in America, we would never hold up 3 like that. Okay, like if you're playing baseball, you would, like when you're talking baseball and or anything when you're 3, we wouldn't hold up 3 like that. And there's a movie like that where the guy, I can't think of it, it's the Brad Pitt, and then there's that movie where they're going to kill Hitler or whatever. There's those Nazis, and there's the one thing where they're down in the basement, and he says like 3, and he holds it up like the way that an American would hold up 3, and it's not that way. It's with the 2 fingers and the thumb. He says, "Give me 3 shots," or whatever, right? And then the other guy, that's the really smart guy, who's the German guy, knows that that's not how we say 3. We say 3 just with like your 3 regular fingers and shit, right? With your pinky and your thumb would be touching, and your 3 middle fingers would be up, and that's how they would order 3, right? So when he didn't hold up the right finger symbol, the guy knew that they were frauds, and then they got into a fight, right? So that's the kind of thing of what I'm talking about, right? We didn't used to hold up 3 like this, but traditionally now this hand signal of the 3 has become predominant, where people have been holding up that hand signal with that 3, right? And what it shows is this is like this thing, right? Okay, so you have all these stars, and it's not just a hand signal, it's the eye thing of what they're doing and stuff, right? There's a lot to the Illuminati stuff of what this hand signal means and shit, right? And so this is the way that they do this hand signal. And so it's like with the word like the goat, the greatest of all time. It's not the greatest of all time. That's the goat Lucifer. That's what that represents. It means Lucifer. It means Satan worship and shit, right? And they've gotten everybody talking about the goat. It's like the goat is the goat Lucy. That's Lucifer. Who's the goat? That's the goat. And they've got everybody saying, they're the goat. They're the goat. Like, oh, that's the greatest thing. Everybody wants to be the goat. The goat is Lucifer. It's Satan worship. When the people are talking that word, that's all Satan worship shit, right? So this hand signal is another one of those. This is like the big symbol that they use in the Illuminati fucking shit, and showing their satanic allegiance and shit, right? And how they dominate in the world, right? So then Kelsey held up that symbol with the 3, right? And you know that, like, remember Aaron Rodgers called Kelsey Mr. Pfizer, right? Remember when he called him Mr. Pfizer? Because he's saying, yeah, go get your fucking COVID shot, brought to you by Pfizer and shit, right? And so he called him Mr. Pfizer. And you'll see now he's in all the commercials and shit, doing all the commercials. One of the things you know is when somebody's sold out to the elites and stuff, is they start doing insurance commercials, any kind of insurance, like State Farm, the big State Farm that Kelsey and Mahomes are doing, Mahomes, Maato and shit, right? So people that get the insurance company deals and people that promote pharmaceuticals, those are like big ones that they do, that these are insider people who have sold out to the Illuminati, who are totally fucking slaves to these motherfuckers and shit, right? And so here's Kelsey telling you, here's my true allegiance, and he throws up that hand signal to show you. But what he was saying is, we're going to get 3. And when he held that up, it really made me realize they are going to get 3. That's the plan. That's what the plan is, what's going on. They want the Kansas City to get 3 championships, so people will always start holding up that symbol. 3, we got 3, and they'll hold it up like that. It'll transition into where that will be the new interpretation for we got 3, and everybody's going to hold up that symbol, and it's a symbol to fucking Illuminati and Satan worship and shit, right? So my prediction right now is that the Chiefs win the Super Bowl next year, and they get 3 in a row. But they won't get 4, because it has to only be 3. It has to be 3 so that they can be the team. We got 3. And you're going to start seeing like that symbol. They'll start putting it on stickers on people's cars. Like, we got 3, right? 3 in a row. The GOAT. We're the 3. We're the GOAT. It'd be like total fucking real bad shit, right? And so that's what it looks like to me. When he threw that up, it's like, that's the plan. So it's like he showed me, like, open up the door in their secret world, that's the plan of what's going on. So that's the way I see it. And so now, because you know that Andy Reid, he's not going to be coaching much longer and shit, right? So he'll get his 3 in a row. He'll coach. He'll get 3 in a row. He'll probably stay 1 more year after that, and then they'll lose the next year. They will not get the 4, and it'll probably be Josh Allen. This is always pending upon injuries. That's the thing with football, because it is real. There's injuries. But even with injuries, you got to remember, like when the Patriots and shit, they started the season with Drew Bledsoe. He got injured. The guy that comes in turns out to be Tom Brady and shit, right? So that's like one of those things. Is like, because that was after 9/11. And so that was like with the Patriots and shit. It's like, okay, so after 9/11, then the Patriots win the Super Bowl and all this shit, right? It's like, okay, were the Patriots going to win the Super Bowl even with Bledsoe that year? because remember, they had a really good defense and shit too. They had a good enough team. They probably could have won it. And so it's like, would they have, that's one of those things. Would they have won with Bledsoe that year? That's like one of those questions. If Brady doesn't come in, does that team still win? Because they had to win because it was the 9/11 and they were pushing the patriotic agenda and shit, right? And so that's the kind of stuff, those questions. And so does it really matter? Even if they get an injury, are they going to be set? Because I've always said too, it's like they'll just go look at like what the Browns. There'll be some player out there like a Flacco who's not even in the league that you can just sign. He's just not even playing. You don't have to make a trade for him. You can just buy. You can just pick him up. Right? So that's what happens is like the teams that they want to do it, they'll always make the trade that they need, or they'll pick up a player later in free agency somehow. They'll do something, but they'll get the pieces they need. And then with a little bit of help, they can usually make it happen. They can usually control the shit and make it really interesting, make it look like it happened naturally, but they can make it happen and shit, right? So like I'm thinking is that Chiefs win again next year, then the next year after that, because I'm still saying – when I'm looking at football and I'm looking at stuff, I'm saying Josh Allen is going to win a fucking Super Bowl. I totally believe Josh Allen's going to win a Super Bowl. So it's like you got Mahomes winning and then you got Josh Allen winning. That's not leaving the door open for many other people to even have a chance to get close to it and stuff, right? Who's going to be around? So that's what I'm saying. It's like any of these young players, if you're thinking about investing long-term in young players, you're just stupid as fuck. You don't know what the fuck you're doing. What you need to be doing now is put your money into Josh Allen. This is my advice. Obviously, these are when you're giving investment advice and stuff, it's like that's to be determined. I don't have the crystal ball. I can't guarantee none of that. That's just not guaranteed. It's just my and when you something like this, it is an opinion and shit, right? So you invest at your own risk. That's how you have to say that. Invest at your own risk, motherfuckers and shit, right? But my opinion is that Josh Allen is legit as fuck. And Buffalo, that city of Buffalo, needs to win a Super Bowl. And it should be Josh Allen. They've got the right fucking guy. They probably need to get rid of their head coach. I'd get rid of him right now and I'd bring in Bill Belichick, which I don't know. The Bill Belichick thing was like, okay, he hasn't signed yet, has he? I don't think he has, but I'm not. There's like he was doing all the teams and all the other stuff was going on. But I think that like I would get rid of McDermott. Boom, I bring in Bill Belichick right now and shit, right? That's what I would do if I was Buffalo. But that's to be determined. We'll see what the fuck they do. I think you can win McDermott and shit, right? But I still don't know. Is he like a face of a Super Bowl team? Is he that kind of guy? You need a guy you need a battle. You need an Andy Reid level kind of guy. That's what like the Purdy thing. It's like, okay, they had the Shanahan, the coach. He was that kind of level, but Purdy wasn't there. Purdy was never that guy. Will Purdy ever win a Super Bowl? Probably not. Probably will never win a Super Bowl. So all the money in the Purdy and stuff, in 10 years, all your Purdy cards are going to be worthless. Like when they say the shit's going to zero. Yeah, it's going to zero. If he doesn't win a Super Bowl the next 5 years and shit, come on. His shit will be worthless. So all you stupid Purdy people. Now, when people are doing the short-term flips, that's a totally different thing. They're in and they're out. You don't trust those people. Don't listen to those people. You dumb motherfuckers who are buying those cards from those people thinking you're making a long-term investment, you're dumb as fuck. You do not want to know what you're doing. Like the SCV Sports, he's hyping up these guys that are in college. Like, dude, go suck a dick. Fuck any goddamn college player. I don't give a fuck what they say. It absolutely means nothing. It means nothing. I don't care if the motherfucker comes out and fucking wins 16 games. I don't care if he comes out and wins 16 games in a row. His ass loses in the playoffs. He never wins a Super Bowl. His cards will be worthless. They're all going to zero. But you'll be like, he's the greatest. Oh, look at it, 116. It means nothing. It only matters right now. It matters, but we're talking about collecting cards in the long term. I talk about collectors and what are long-term investable cards of collectible players. What are the real shit? Like I said, I don't give a fuck if he goes 16-0 and wins the MVP, but if he don't win a Super Bowl and doesn't do any of that shit, it's just a matter of time before his shit going to zero, which is what's going to happen to almost all of these motherfuckers. You think Brock Purdy's going to retire with the 49ers? You think he's gonna have a great career? He's gonna retire with the Niners, win Super Bowls, and go to the Hall of Fame? Probably not. Is he a decent player? He's all right. But he sure as hell got a whole bunch of other guys. You take McCaffrey off the team and Debo, you don't give him as good of offensive line. Next thing you know, boom, he's not looking so good. And then boom, the team, boom, dumps his ass. They dump his ass so fucking fast. Look at what like with Russell Wilson. Look at how great Russell Wilson was, and he won Super Bowls and stuff. But man, they're dogging on him now. And that's what I'm saying. It's long-term shit. There's a lot of shit of what's going to take place of who are these long-term people. And that's why I was saying, like when I say Nick Chubb was my guy, but Josh Allen is that guy. And anybody who doesn't, you don't say that shit, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're fucking doing. Right now, Josh Allen's prices are probably technically fairly priced and shit, right? And like I said, I think the Chiefs are going to win it next year. So again, you could still wait on Josh Allen, wait for him to lose again next year. Maybe then his prices really get low. That's when you come in and scoop him up, because it'll be the next year that he wins the Super Bowl and his cards will skyrocket. And once he wins the Super Bowl in Buffalo, that's it. His cards will be eternally collected. But you have to have the right cards. You still need to be going for those short print fucking quality cards and shit. The ones that are collectible. And fuck all those patch cards. Those aren't real cards. Those are sucker cards for morons. You people let the fucking sports card creator, the industry, you let them dictate to you what the value of the cards are. And that's not how it works. We dictate. We're the collectors. We're the ones who say what the cards are worth, and we dictate the prices of what the cards are in the real market, not the fucking card manufacturers. And these card manufacturers have set up this dictating of what the card value is by saying, oh, well, an NFL Shield, that's the most valuable one. And then the laundry tag, and then the Nike swoosh, and then the 4-color patch. And oh, look at that patch. Fuck all that shit. That is garbage, mind fucking numbing, bogus bullshit. You dumb motherfuckers are fucking slaves falling for their fucking tricks. You don't know what the fuck you are doing. You dumb as fuck, you idiots. We don't let them dictate to us what the fucking cards' values are. We dictate it to them. You know, obviously they print a 101 black finite. Okay, we understand. But if that card's not good, then we'll say, fuck Prism. We'll go to the fucking Optic. We'll go to the other company. We'll go to Topps. That card doesn't necessarily have to be like the stupid fucking, you know, like the Jeff Wilson got the Desmond Ritter. He has the black finite auto Desmond Ritter, and the sticker is crooked on it. And it's like, first of all, the goddamn sticker doesn't look good, and now it's crooked. So to me, that card would be like a PSA 5. It's a crooked sticker. That thing can't be a 10, but they'll grade it a 10. It's bogus. It's bullshit. It is the ugliest fucking card. I would not pay $100 for that fucking card. That card was always worthless. Why would you want that card? Only a total brain-dead moron like a Jeff Wilson would buy some fucking card like that with a crooked fucking sticker. I don't care. It's a 101. That's $100 fucking card now. Who the fuck wants that piece of shit? Even if he's winning Super Bowls, that's what I'm saying. Fuck that card with the sticker auto that's crooked as fuck. That is ugly as fuck. I challenge every single one of you stupid motherfuckers out there to tell me a sticker auto makes any Prism card look better. Fuck you. I straight say, fuck you. Those fucking stickers never make the card look better. They always make the card look worse. What the fuck are you morons doing buying cards with stickers that make the card look worse? How stupid can you fucking be? God, you're the dumbest fucking slave moron monkeys there ever fucking was. Fucking dance, monkey, dance. Motherfucking dancing monkeys and shit. Fucking losers and shit. Right, so I don't buy that shit. I buy the real cards, the quality shit that's art, that has beauty. Don't got some fucking stupid sticker and it's all crooked. Fuck all those sticker autos. And you motherfuckers buying that shit, you are fucking stupid. And I would say, I don't blame the person for selling it to you. It's your fault for being so stupid to buying that shit. You're dumb as fuck. You are moronically stupid. No sticker autos. Get them the fuck out of here. Unless it's like, it's like the guy writes his sticker autos, then he dies, and he never got a chance to do on-card autos and shit. That's all there is. Okay, if it's something like that, I like I said, there's always exceptions to the rule. Yes, there can be an exception to the rule, but it's very few and far between of where it's acceptable and shit, right? Very few and far between and shit, right? You want the quality cards. Don't fall for the fucking, don't believe the hype, you know? Don't believe the fucking hype, right? So, okay, so that's what I think is going to happen. Like, basically, as I think the Chiefs are going to Chiefs are going to win again next year, which will put them up there on that list with the 5 thing, right? But they're not going to, which means they can't win again, because then that would put them at 6. And I don't think that's going to happen until 2030. And then, which could happen, they might be the one, because Mahomes could still be there. Maybe that's what, because that could still happen too. It could be where Mahomes wins again next year. Then the year after that, they lose. Then Andy Reid retires. Then you got a few years where Josh Allen will definitely get one. We'll have to see who else. I think that Green Bay with Jordan Love, see, they got 4. So I think there's a chance that Green Bay could get another one and go up there to 5 and shit, right? New York Giants, I don't see them having the team with Danny Dimes. I don't see him winning. So I don't see him that. But the Green Bay with Jordan Love, yes, I could see them over the next few years. In a few years, if Jordan Love stays there and they keep going, maybe in 4 years he wins another one. And then he could be up there on. Then you could have people. You would have like Green Bay up there with 5. You'll have Kansas City up there with 5. You know, then you got Dallas and Frisco. So you'll have a few choices that'll be those teams with 5, which will set it up and make it easier for them to complete it on the year the 2030 and shit, right? So, but next year the Chiefs. The year after that should be, because Josh Allen should knock off the Chiefs too. Josh Allen, because they've been building this and building it, and so then. Not next year, but then the year after that. That's when Josh Allen gets it and wins his Super Bowl, and he knocks the Chiefs off, get them out, stops them from the dynasty, and then he wins the championship. That'll eternally make Josh Allen's cards valuable. So, like, as I would say, as an investment tip, I would say right now what you should be investing in as far as long-term, you should be invested in Josh Allen. Nobody else. There's all the other crap, loser motherfuckers. You don't know football. You don't understand what the way the world works. Josh Allen is legit as fuck. That team is ready to win. There's a thing there where the Buffalo needs to, but when you're a team like Buffalo, you don't need to have Buffalo and have a dynasty where you win 3 in a row. Just win in one. Just win in one will be enough for a team like that, right? So let's say you got 2025, you got Mahomes. 2026, you get Buffalo. Then you got 27, 28, 29. You get those years where it could be anybody else, right? Like maybe you get Jordan Love gets one there, right? So that's what I'm saying. If you want Jordan Love, you don't want to buy Jordan Love right now. His prices are still high. Wait till his cards go down. You can just be patient. You got a few years before his cards or the right time to invest in them. Don't get Jordan Love right now. Wait until they go down. Wait till people forget about him and they're investing in this rookie class. Then they're investing in the next year's rookie class. And then the people they forgot about him, right? They forget about him. Then that's when you want to go and probably pick him up, because then there'll be a chance where he'll have a chance to get one. But he's a possible. He's still somebody I would wait on and wait to see how it still develops. Where I would say right now that Josh Allen is the guy that's the next guy. The guy that you want to get. He's the guy that you probably get now, because you don't know how long before he probably is going to win one. Not next year, but probably the next year after that, he probably wins one. And he's already respected enough, but there should be points in there where his market, you keep an eye on it, check the prices, know what the market is, see what his prices are, wait until they start going down. When they start getting low, where it's like, okay, they're low, boom. Then you want to scoop them up and hold them. Hold him for a few years, and then wait till he wins a Super Bowl. And then if you want to dump him at that time, dump him. But if you don't want to dump him, now you'll have something that will be eternally valuable, because he will have done what he needed to do to be to be considered as an all-time great. People will always talk about Josh Allen, but Josh Allen needs to win a Super Bowl. He needs to win but he only needs to win one. If he can just win one Super Bowl, that'll eternally fucking cement his name in stone, and he'll be fucking Hall of Fame, one of the all-time greats and shit. And his cards they'll always be in demand, and the people will always want to have his cards and shit. But you got to have the shorter print stuff, the quality stuff, because there's still a lot of stuff out there. You still need to have the right cards. But if you do have those cards will sell for big bucks and shit, right? But these are like long-term investment strategies and plans and shit, right? But so like Mahomes, like I said, I still think Mahomes is winning next year. So I would still say right now, Mahomes is investable. I still say you invest in Mahomes right now. You can invest. If you want to win money on the Super Bowl, what you want to wait is till the season starts, and you want to hopefully that they're not shooting off as the great front runner and shit, right? Wait till they start to slump. Wait till the other people start looking like they're good. They're all hyping up all the other people. Wait till you can get like a 5 in between 5 to 1 to 10 to 1 for them to win, like on a futures odd on the sports book. Wait till they're like at least 5 to 1 to 10 to 1. Then that's when you want to start betting them. Bet them to win the Super Bowl next year. That's like how you would, if you want to invest that way, that's how you would do that and shit, right? And but you can invest in Mahomes now, because if Mahomes wins 3 in a row, his card market's going to really explode. When he wins 3 in a row, his card market will explode. Okay. So yeah, there's still a lot of money even though Mahomes could be fairly high now and there could be people buying and stuff. If you've got the money to buy and hold it for another year, then you're going to be good, because after he wins 3 in a row, whatever you paid now, there will be a bump. If he wins 3 in a row, there's going to be no doubt his cards are going to fucking go big. 3 in a row. Yeah. But after that, then that's the thing. Then that's what you want to do if you got Mahomes. You want to buy now. He's still investable. Buy now. Wait till he wins 3 in a row. Sell everything after he wins 3 in a row. And then after he loses the next year, you'll start seeing, then his cards will start coming down. They'll start coming down. Then wait till they come down. Then you buy. And then when he fucking wins again in 2030 to be like I said, that Agenda 2030 to complete that 666 thing, because there'll still be a chance that he can win one more later. So then, like I said, you wait till he loses, wait till Josh Allen takes over, wait till other teams start doing it, give it a few years, wait till his prices come back down. Then you buy it again one more time there, wait for him to win one more, and then sell him again. That's how like you would plan that, setting it up, working it. But these are long-term strategies. It's not quick, because that's what the people that are all the salespeople, they're trying to buy and sell the card as quick as they can, because they know that those cards are all worthless. They don't really have any value. It's the hot potato. They got to get rid of it as quick as they fucking can, because they know the cards are all going to zero and shit, right? Okay. Trying to give you guys some investment strategy and football talk and shit, right? Okay. Talk to you guys later. I'm out of here. Bye-bye.